Welcome to Tour Confidential here on Golf.com. I'm Jeff Ritter in for Jessica Marksbury. Joining me today from Golf Magazine, it's Alan Bastable. Also from Golf Magazine, via Skype, it's Cameron Morfitt. Guys, Jim Furyk ended a 5-year winless drought last weekend, winning in Harbour Town. He was 0 for 9 as a 54-hole leader, but on Sunday he rallied for his first win in 5 years. Cameron, we'll start with you. Is this proof, is Jim Furyk living proof that it's easier to rally on Sunday than it is to protect a 54-hole lead?
Yeah, I mean, Furyk's victory really does seem to underline that point, as well as the statistics this year. I mean, most 54-hole leaders are just, just not getting it done. So yesterday it was Troy Merritt, who's a good Idaho boy, and I was cheering for him, but just couldn't get it done, shot only 2 under. So I think it is easier to come from behind, and especially when you've got as much baggage as Furyk did, spitting the bit so many times with the lead, with chances to win tournaments since he won that FedEx Cup over 4 years ago. So yeah, it was fun to see. He really obviously wanted it a lot, and you could see it in his reaction when he finally won.
It does seem like there's a different psyche involved when you see your name at the top of a leaderboard all afternoon on Sunday versus just knowing that you have a ground to make up. What do you think?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, statistically, you're in a tough spot. You've got 60 or 70 of the world's best players chasing you. You're just one guy, so you got to put up a good number, obviously, to protect the lead. We've heard so much about this statistic, the 0 for 9, that Furyk's sort of become known for over the last 5 years. If you go back before that, from 1994 to that 2010, he held the lead 17 times on Saturday evening, and he won 10 of those times. So, it's a little unfair. We'd like to get on Furyk for not being able to get it done on Sunday, obviously did this weekend. But if you go back to the early part of his career, he was actually way above average as far as closing the deal. So I think that's worth remembering. And, he's 44 years old. He's had a good run. I think he'll win a few more times. Who knows? He might bag one more major. But I think you got to give him credit where credit's due.
Yeah, we forget he's the same age as Phil Mickelson, and he's got his own borderline Hall of Fame career as well. Cam, do you think Furyk has another rally in him? We talk a lot about Phil being potentially on the downside of his career. Do you think Furyk might be able to play his way onto the next Ryder Cup and still be a factor for a few more years here?
Yeah, I mean, I think winning at Harbour Town the way Furyk did with those 2 late birdies in the playoff, I think that's really going to give him a ton of confidence. And that's been the one thing that, let's face it, Furyk has been missing lately with all those near misses. I think he just kind of had started to wonder, do I still have it? Do I still have what it takes in the smoke, as Lee Trevino used to say, to get it done? And now he believes. That is a huge, huge factor. And I like him on certain courses that are, placement type courses. He is really a marvel of accuracy and consistency. So, you put him on a course that doesn't require bombing it off the tee. Maybe Chambers Bay is good for him. Who knows?
Last question, Cam. Does Jim Furyk play on the U.S. Ryder Cup team in 2016? Is he going to qualify?
I would imagine he probably will. And he'll get a chance to atone for his admittedly horrible record in the Ryder Cup. So that's the one thing about Furyk. He does not sugarcoat it.
I mean, he has a way of hanging around. I mean, if you pile up enough top 10 finishes, which Furyk is great at doing, that's going to put him in pretty good stead. I think I don't like him at Chambers Bay. I think that course he'll just be overmatched. He's always not the longest hitter. It's a little quirky. He seems to play better on more classic courses, like Cameron said, where you sort of need to place the ball. The U.S. Open's going to Oakmont in 16, and then Winged Foot, I think, in like 2020. Those are the type of courses where I think Furyk can be dangerous. He obviously almost won the U.S. Open at Oakmont in 2007. So I think you could look for him to still be a threat on those courses. But when you only hit it 270 like Furyk does, there's so many courses that you just cannot win on. And he needs to improve his putting. Like, we talk so much about his tee to green game being so good, and he leads the tour on proximity to the hole, but his putting is not good. I mean, he is near the bottom of the tour in pretty much every putting category. So that's going to catch up to you, especially on Sundays. He needs to sort that out.
All right, you've heard it here. Jim Furyk on the Ryder Cup team. Get used to it. He's hanging around. We'll leave it there. For Alan and Cameron, I'm Jeff. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Tour Confidential.